Barbuda channel, Association on their Connect to Reconnect pilot 2026. And in studio with me, I have the chair, none other than Miss Mervin Caesar John. Good afternoon, Miss John. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good afternoon to you, to start.
All right. So today you are here in Barbuda, Antigua and Barbuda, and you are doing this pilot series, the Connect to Reconnect program with the WFTA. All right. So how has your stay been so far?
My stay has been very, very good. Very, very friendly people. I've met some very nice, well, especially at the meetings that we've had today. And yeah, very good.
All right. So let's dive right into it. Okay. Just tell us a little bit about the WFTA and how did that come about?
Well, I can proudly say to you that the first African Caribbean mayor in Waltham Forest. Waltham Forest is an East London borough in London, one of the 32 London boroughs, and in fact it has about 300,000 people. And the first African Caribbean mayor in 1990 was Franklin Georges, Mr. Franklin Georges. He was born in Dominica, and his wife, Miss Veronica, was born in Antigua Barbuda of Dominican parents.
Nice.
And when they were, during the mayoral year, they were really, really determined to work with represent the black community and the Dominican Antiguan community. And so what they did is they created the Waltham Forest Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica Twinning Association, and that was eventually signed into the charter between the Waltham Forest Council, the Antigua and Barbuda High Commission, and the Dominican High Commission in London in 1999.
That's quite awesome. From 1999 till now.
Yes, it's been running all that time.
Oh wow!
In fact, we celebrated the 25th anniversary. It was a lovely celebration.
Oh well, happy anniversary!
That was a couple of years ago. So
okay. All right. So let's just dive into the core purposes and story. So, what is the purpose of the visit to Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica?
So, as the title of the project indicates, it's called Connect to Reconnect. And what we have found is that there are a lot of Dominicans and Antiguan and Barbudans who are all over the world, but we're focusing more on our core in London and the UK in general. And in fact, we're expanding it to other places in the world for people who have some connection with the islands, Antigua, Barbuda and Dominica,
right,
but for some reason have not been able to visit for whatever reason. And also for those who have connections with the islands, but have not been able to come either.
Right.
So that's why we're trying to connect those people and to reconnect those, which we find in terms of people's culture and their heritage. It can be quite moving experience for them.
Okay, that's nice. So, why is it so important to reconnect these islands with the Waltham Forest important now?
So there have been a lot of changes in the UK with regards to those who left their parents who left the islands and went over to the UK, way back to, say the 40s, late 40s, 50s, 60s, right to the 70s. And in the UK we call these the Windrush generation, for various reasons, which I'll be telling you later on. There was a ship that came from, that carried quite a lot of, over 400 Jamaicans to the UK in 1948. 22nd of June 1948 is when they landed. But following that, quite a few from other islands came on various other boats, various other ships. So regardless of that, we still call them the Windrush generation. And those of us who travelled over to the UK, we find that with our children and grandchildren, there is a need for us to let them know of their heritage, especially for those who are not sinking in with and linking with their heritage.
Right.
And we find that's very important. And at this point, we are trying to raise the awareness of people regarding their heritage and their history.
Okay, that's nice. How would you describe the relationship between Waltham Forest and its twin islands today?
It varies with regards to the people who are based in Waltham Forest, who come from Antigua, Barbuda and Dominica. With the Twinning Association, with our activities there, the council, in fact, when the Twinning Association was created, one of the very, very important elements of this friendship, this relationship, this town twinning, was that Mr. Georges wanted to leave that legacy whereby each mayor after him would be the patron of the Twinning Association, and we've continued that practice up till now, and the support we're getting from the Waltham Forest Council is very, very important, and that's been the case ever since. Now, with that, all the activities that we've had, the council are very keen on promoting the Waltham Forest Twinning Association.
Right.
So we're very well known within the in the area, and yes.
All right, so that was really interesting, and especially when it comes to the children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, the culture sometimes does not stick, and you would want certain traditions, certain values to continue for generations to generations, and I think this is an awesome program to push that, so thank you for that. Okay, so now we want to go into the heritage and history. What is the history behind, not the history behind the twinning relationship, but how has the Windrush generation shaped this connection?
So after the war, there was, you may be aware of the history of following the war, that London was bombed, and there was a lot of loss of life within the war. And we, as part of the Commonwealth, a lot of people came from the Commonwealth to the UK to build Britain back. And following on from that, from the 50s, 60s, 70s, we have had generation after generation coming here. And just recap on the question again.
It's more of how does the Windrush, did the Windrush shape?
Yeah. So our parents, and I am a children of the Windrush generation, child of the Windrush generation. We have maintained that link by, in many, many cases, making sure our children know that history, making sure that we come back to the islands so that our children and grandchildren know the islands, and that's a link which is so important. Now, the Windrush generation, they worked very, very hard when they came here, and they didn't have the monetary power to be able to, they had to work hard, and their focus, a lot of them, was on going to the UK for 5 years and going back to the Caribbean. That didn't happen in for many people, because they got married, they had children. And the link, the pull of having your children and staying and not leaving them. Many people had to do that for various reasons, and so the work that our parents' generation did, it instilled a lot of the value of hard work into their children, and so they in that way they were able to shape the way the children worked hard and became successful in whatever area of work or career or what, earning their living. For most people, that was the value of hard work and good values, abiding by the law and whatever.
All that stuff, being a good citizen.
Good citizen. Yes.
Okay, so now what role has the community leadership played in keeping these ties alive?
Well, there have been many organizations, apart from the Training Association, because those organizations, like if I just focus on Antigua and Barbuda and Dominican Association, who, when the Windrush generation first arrived in the UK, they didn't have anyone to turn to for advice and help into securing accommodation. And you may have heard many of them were faced with notices on many houses that said no blacks, no Irish, no dogs.
Yes.
So they had to build their lives within their community, and advice and assistance that they needed a lot, and the social interaction. This is how a lot of the associations were created, and so that they could support their people. And so the associations, they were the ones that have helped, and they've been working for decades to build their community, and they continue to do so. But we're all getting old, and we need the younger people to take over and to lead. And this is something that a lot of the organizations are facing. But we are still positive, because we see the fruits of our labor, and a lot of young people are doing in the background sometimes. They're doing a lot. They really are proud of their heritage. So yeah, I'm positive for the future. I'm very positive.
And we're positive as well. The young people are the future.
Yes.
So now we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about community impact, which we just started. Okay. What impact do you hope this visit will have on local communities here, whether it be in Barbuda, Antigua, or Dominica?
So, connection. We want to be able to link up with the community workers, the groups, the organizations, and for example, this meeting that we had this morning, I'm very, very pleased that we were able to discuss our project with the pilot project with the community leaders here, One of the things that we want to do is reach out to all those organizations who can help us forge that link and strengthen that link, on a day-to-day basis, and communicate with them. And maybe, in this day and age, we've got a lot of, online.
Right.
So the world has got smaller for us, and it's so much easier to link up. And to have something like this, it would be great, to be able to communicate with each other and say, we're having this meeting, let us connect. To look at issues, and also for those who are travelling here, those who are going to the UK, for example, there would be the Twinning Association would be the link that they can contact us, and for whatever reason that they're going, and if they need some assistance, and obviously we can host them there. It would be part of the exchange that we really are hoping that we can develop. Unfortunately, travelling back and forth is very costly.
Yes, it is.
For example, this project, Connect to Reconnect, was initially supposed to be a wider trip.
Yes.
But we had to flip it over and let's do the pilot first, and let's really research what is needed. Because, for various reasons, people have, bereavements, life challenges.
It throws it.
And, the cost of living is not favourable at the moment.
Yes.
But, I am so grateful and thankful that we were able to still proceed with this pilot project.
Wow, very, very powerful. I know we mentioned young people in the background within the history and the culture, but what are we doing? What is this project doing now? How are you engaging the youth? Because I'm a youth myself, so how can I be engaged in this program?
So I say that a lot of our members, they have their own skills, they have their own hobbies, they have their own, for example, a couple of our members on our management committee, they are artists, and so we have workshops. We have a lot of workshops that we can art workshops that we invite young people to participate in. We ask for them to collaborate with us to put on activities that they enjoy. We collaborate with other youth projects in the Waltham Forest, so that we can engage with them, and they can, help us to promote our culture and heritage. Our, as in everybody within Waltham Forest,
right.
Who are either of non-Antigua Barbuda Dominican parentage or not, heritage or not.
Yeah.
So we have schools. We link up with some schools, and we have workshops with them. Back in, dare I say it, back in 2020, we were backtrack. We had a project for 11 youngsters, sixth formers, to come to Antigua, Barbuda and Dominica. In fact, we did a risk assessment trip with the teachers of a particular school in Waltham Forest, one of the parts of the borough. Right. And we did that in October, November in 2019. We were all set to come, 11 young, in May 2020. Unfortunately, COVID happened, lockdown happened, so we couldn't do that. That would have been life-changing experience for those young people. So that was something that we were really, really hoping to do. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So we have other activities and events within the borough that young people do engage within, creative writing as well. Any sort of events that we do, the young people are are invited to come, and they do participate.
Good, that's good. Okay, so since we touched on community projects for schools and the youngsters, let's talk about health initiatives. What type of initiatives have this project produced so far?
Health?
Yes, like health initiatives.
Okay. We've had, every year, we've have health and heritage awareness, because we like to link everything
with heritage, yes.
Yeah, and we have a sponsored walk that we open to all generations. So it's not a heavy duty walk, but it's something that's open to all the generations, and that usually happens around September. So we raise some funds, and that goes. Apart from helping our own running expenses, we help to we give donation to like the dementia UK and Alzheimer's Society. One of the aims of this project also is to have community engagement, whereas we raise the awareness of dementia. Not just for those who are going through that disease or suffering from that, but their families.
Yes.
Those who to help them, those who are caring for them, for their parents, their family, their loved ones, so that they are aware of this bombshell that happens.
Yes.
They are better prepared for that. That's one initiative that we're doing with regards to health. One of the projects, a research project that we got involved in, that the Waltham Forest themselves were aware of the health inequalities that take place within the borough, and so we were part of that group that were addressing that. And following on from that, there have been various health initiatives that's taken place of the council to raise awareness of that, and to have more opening for our community, the black community, to be able to have the support that they need with regards to their health. That's a couple of things that we're doing.
And that's really, really good to see, especially with the Alzheimer's Association and dementia, because yes, you care for the person, but you don't know the effects, how it affects the loved ones who are caring for them, because they're grieving the person who they once knew or who once knew them. And it is hard. It is very, very hard. So I am glad to see that is one of the things that you're contributing to. So with all these projects, whether it be with the youth, health initiatives, whatever it is, what is a moment that stood out to you so far? I know there could be many, but if you were to choose, what would be one moment that will stand out, that has stood out to you so far?
The work that we're doing?
Yes.
The collaboration that we have had with the local community. The Twinning Association, we were, I mentioned Windrush.
Yes.
I don't know how many people who are listening are aware of the Windrush scandal, we call it. Back in 2018, unfortunately, there was, it's called the Windrush scandal, but a lot of people call it the Home Office scandal, where a lot of people who were raised in the UK lost their right to citizenship, and many were deported. And so back in 2021, the Twinning Association received some funding to help publicise, because this scandal, as we call it, it affected so many people. So they had to do something, the Home Office had to do something about informing the affected people of the Commonwealth
Right.
or the Windrush generation,
Yes.
those who were affected by that, to get information. So we were one of the 14 organizations within that year who got some funding to help publicize the fact that there was information that was available for people to get documentation, their documentation correct, and also for them to claim the compensation. There are a lot of controversies around that, and I dare say a lot of work is going on with regards to getting people to know about what their rights are. And so we launched what we call our Windrush Reach on Windrush Day, which is the 22nd of June.
Okay.
We launched that in 2021.
Nice.
And following on from that, including that, we were able to get some legal assistance from a lawyer to offer pro bono assistance for those who wanted to get some legal help to navigate this minefield of information. But we weren't obliged to do that. All we were engaged to do was to pass that information on to people. But we are still stakeholders. They call us, the Home Office still call us stakeholders, and right up till this month, I've received this. We continue to get information from them about those who have got compensation, how things are working, progressing, and many other Windrush organisations have started up because it's a huge controversy, huge controversy. The latest thing is that they want us to complete the survey, and in fact, I will soon be publicising that survey with regards to people saying how they themselves, those who are affected, how they have been treated by the Home Office.
Right.
So that's something which I haven't addressed that because we're busy trying to do this trip. So when as soon as possible, we'll get back on to get that survey so that we can inform the Home Office about it.
All right. Well, Miss John, I know that was a lot. So right now we're going to take a quick break, and to our viewers, don't go anywhere. This is the WFTA interview with the Connect to Reconnect project pilot here for Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica with Miss Mervin Caesar John. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So stay with us. And welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Like I said, we have the chair here for the WFTA Association with their Connect to Reconnect pilot for Antigua, Barbuda, and Dominica, Miss Mervin Caesar John. Welcome back.
Thanks.
All right, so what we last touched on was the community impact. So we spoke about how the youth are involved, how you got health initiatives involved, but now we want to touch on everything that ties in the culture, and that is very big in the WFTA. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right, so what have you learned from being here in Antigua and Barbuda? But let's just touch on Barbuda. What have you learned from since being here?
Well, from the experience so far, I've only been here for, well, we came here this morning. We came here first thing this morning. We've been up since 4 o'clock. And the transfer was interesting on the boat. That was good. That was, and we were very nicely received by a driver who took us around, just to the various commitments that we've had so far. We've met with the community organisations, the community leaders, which just to tell them about what we're doing. So they were very receptive to us, and we really need to continue that connection, not just with them, but they're willing to for us to engage with the other groups, that community groups. We also had a very lovely session with with school children, years 3 to do you have years 3? Was it years 3? They were like 4 years, years 3 to 6, I think they were.
Yeah.
And they have what they call the LIT project.
Yes, the LIT project,
which is a fantastic initiative, and we were there while they were doing their exercises. We engaged quite nicely with them, and they were very funny children. They make us laugh. So a couple of the ministers were here as well, from Education Department. So that was good to see them. We were able to give them a couple of books, which was donated to the Twinning Association to present to them by one of our very, very close supporters called Pam Clark, who herself has created the Museum Voyage. It's an online museum that she's creating. So I'm very, very pleased to report back to Pam about that. And we were able to donate another book that Twinning Association has provided, has produced and published, called Telling Our Story. It's an anthology where, so far that's what we've done. But in speaking, we have, through going for our meals here for breakfast and lunch, we've connected with such lovely people. They're so keen to speak with us and hear what we have to say, what we are doing, and they are very, very supportive about the idea of improving the connections that we're having, and they really said that they hope to hear more from us.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit more about the book.
The book.
Yes.
So we have one of. We started the creative writing workshops back in 2017.
Okay.
Now, 2017, we had like 5 sessions where people just came, and it was a mixed group of people who came to the workshops. It's our facilitator, who is a member of the Twinning Association. She was a teacher. She's a storyteller. She's an author. She's a published author as well. Her name is Jane Ulysses Grell, and so she has been facilitating our storytelling and creative writing. And so we had the opportunity to have a series of workshops in 2022, and we thought, it was a very, very good response that we had, especially for those who were isolated during COVID, and so they were willing to come and participate in the creative writing. Right. And the stories that were developed from that, they vary so much. We were able to put on a performance in 2022 in October at the place with the William Morris Gallery, we call it, in Walthamstow in Waltham Forest. Okay. And so we had just 5 sessions, and then we had the performance, and then we gathered them in this anthology, and so that's the book that we like to gift it to people, but also we do sell it. We had some funding from the local authority to put on these workshops and to produce this anthology. I really would recommend people to get it, from those who are in London or those who are elsewhere, to get it. It's nice. And what we also did, as I mentioned, our artist, a member of our association is an artist, we linked up with the local school, one of the local schools. So she was able to select some artwork that would complement the book perfectly, and so we were able to, within that collaboration, we try not to make the collaboration too heavy duty. It would be part and parcel of what people do normally, and so we try to embody that. So Jane Grell, who I've known for many years, she's the one who was able to facilitate this.
So this is the book. We can zoom in on this real quick, but this right here is the book, and really, really nice, telling our story, an anthology, and this is produced by the Waltham Forest, Antigua and Barbuda, and Dominica Twinning Association. So it is from the WFTA. Beautiful, beautiful book. Is this just available in print, or is it available
at the moment? Yes,
in
print.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But we meet regularly at the. I love to see people that handle it. And regularly at the William Morris Gallery, which is near Lodge Park in Waltham Forest, which is just down the road from the town hall in Walthamstow, East London.
All right. So we're gonna switch gears again, and we're going to talk about the reconnection and legacy, because what we're doing and what you're doing is creating a legacy, and you want to see it go on for generations and generations. So what do you hope this pilot visit will lead to in 2027 and beyond?
So this pilot, we're hoping that the connections that we make, and I'm so thankful for Barbuda Channel to give us the opportunity to voice what we're doing. It isn't something that we work quite a lot, like in the background. We do whatever we're doing, but we don't. I think there's that publicity is something that we need to shout out to. I think a little bit more about what we do. So what we're doing in terms of the groundwork that we're creating in Barbuda, Antigua, and we had to come to Barbuda, obviously. Can't come to Antigua not to come to Barbuda, because it's it's just inevitable. And then in Dominica, we are hoping to gather as much information and see how it would actually work with regards to the transportation, in terms of activities, the connecting with the community and the groups, so that we can take that and then build a bigger project with the support of the Waltham Forest, the 3 organisations who are the linchpin of the creation of this association, the Antigua, Barbuda and Dominica High Commissions as well. They are very much involved. They were the ones who signed the the town twinning charter. So we are hoping that with their assistance, we will be able to put together the bigger group to come to the islands. In addition to that, as I said, with the exchanges, it shouldn't just be the one way. It should be back and forth. But, all boils down to money.
It does.
And we need to find creative ways to be able to enable people to come on these trips, and creative ways to exchange that. And as I said, the technology is there for us to find different ways of connecting. Yeah.
All right. So, what does success look like for this program to you?
The Connect to Reconnect?
Yes, the Connect to Reconnect pilot.
Is for people, so if we had like 20 people even come, for us to just take them on that trip, which would be life-changing for many people, that to me would be that success. And for them to go on and bring their families to and not just the Dominicans go to Dominica, Antiguans go to Antigua, Barbudans go to, for us to see each other, visit each other's islands, and also for those other people of other heritage within Waltham Forest that could come over on the trip as well. And of course, as I said, for those from the islands to go to Waltham Forest. So it's just a case of pinpointing exactly what would work for people.
Okay. Well, how do you want this visit to be remembered, especially to the people who you spoke to today? How would you want this visit to be remembered?
Well, we're starting with this program. We're putting it out there for people, for them to know what we're trying to do, and for them to come and help us to achieve our aims, to achieve that connecting, that reconnecting. I'd like that visit to continue with the engagement of everybody, so that we can have a continuous dialogue and action and suggestions, and so that we know it's an active, fully active organisation. As Mr. Franklin Georges and Veronica Georges, I must say, Veronica sadly passed away in February. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Franklin, because they retired back in Dominica. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Franklin when I go to Dominica. And what we want to do with regards to the next trip, we as a result of this trip, we want to put out a very short video capturing all the experiences that we're going through on this trip, so that people can, as a document, documentary, if you like, to see what we're going to do. So I'm hoping that it will come through.
All right. Well, that was very heartfelt, and we're winding down now in this presentation, and a question that must be penned to you is, what responsibility do you feel in representing Waltham Forest here?
So I'm representing the Waltham Forest Twinning Association. It is a big responsibility because as chair, I have been the chair for longer than I thought I would be, I must say. And I'm really, I feel that I need to gain and provide and engage more people, and know so that they can find what we're doing interesting enough that they would be interested in engaging with us, participating in what we're doing, in whatever way. If there are things that they feel that we should be doing better, all the better. I want to hear that, not just, oh, you're doing a good job, but also you could do this better. You know, really, really want. I'm my skin is thick enough to be able to
take the blows.
to take the blows. Yeah. But I must say, our management committee, my team, the team that we've got behind me, I am so grateful for them. They're from Barbuda, they're from Antigua, they're from Dominica, you know, those backgrounds. Also, we have those we have white people who want to be members. We have corporate members as well. So we have a whole host of people who are supporting us, and I must thank them all for the support that they've given me, and as a chair over the years, and in particular for this trip.
All right, thank you so much. And we're going to take another quick break, okay? So don't go anywhere. Quick break. We'll be right back. And welcome back to this very engaging and informative session with the chair for the WFTA, Miss Mervin Caesar John, and they are here for the Connect to Reconnect pilot series for Antigua, Barbuda, and Dominica. Miss John, is there anything else you would like to say to the people of Antigua, Barbuda, and beyond? Do you have anything to say to them?
Well, I just would like them to know that although they're in their own, on their own island, in their own region, those who are in the UK, they really do have that bond with their island. They're working very hard. The communities are working very hard. Those organisations are working very hard to continue with our traditions, our heritage. We are not English. We are. When I'm in Dominica, I'm Dominican. Where those who come here, they are Barbudans. When they come, you know, that link, that pull, is still very, very strong. And we don't want. I say we. don't want, because it's been going on for quite some time. We want people to think that we are still strongly connected, very much connected with those our linked islands. Yeah. I must also, I'm not traveling here on my own. I have with me one of our members, Mr. Cyril Henderson. He is an example of those people who, after many years, after leaving Dominica, he visited well, in fact, he came on the risk assessment trip that we had in 2019, and has come back. This is his third visit since that time, after not having been back for many years, and he is being held as an example of the reasons why people should reconnect with the region. And for me, that's quite a pretty strong story.
It is.
Yeah. So.
All right. So how could people reach out to the WFTA?
Well, you can write to us. Our email address is wftwinningassociation@gmail.com. We have a website, which is www.wftwinningassociation.org. We have our Facebook page at WF Twinning Association, Instagram, WFT Association. So we're quite visible. You can go onto the William Morris Gallery website, which I haven't got it to my head, but you can just Google William Morris Gallery, and there is a page there because we've had a residency at the gallery since October 2023, and hopefully long may that last. So we can be connected via there. We've just finished a quilt making quilt club session, 6 quilt club sessions that we had. So we're hoping to hang our quilt there for Windrush Day this year. We've been working tirelessly with the community groups there for Windrush and Black History Month, and we can be found. We can be found.
All right. So just again, the website is www.wftwinningassociation.org. The email address is wftwinningassociation@gmail.com, and the social media pages: Facebook, WF Twinning Association, and Instagram, WFT Association. So everything is basically the same. They're very visible. You can go and check each and every one. And if you don't have social media, you can go on their website or send them an email. They're very accessible, very easy to get onto. And we would like to say thank you, Miss John, for gracing us with your presence here at the Barbuda channel. And just thank you for doing this opportunity, especially with the WFTA, and just being inclusive in bringing the links together and keeping the links together. Thank you so much. Is there any thank yous that you would like to say as well before we close out?
Well, I'd like to thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd like to thank Pastor Clifton Francois for allowing us the opportunity. As I'm in Barbuda, our Barbudan member, who is our vice chair and public relations officer, Annette Henry. She has worked very hard trying to do all these preparations and arrangements on our behalf, and I thank her very, very much, and all the other members who have supported us on this.
All right, thank you so much for the time you took here. This was a very informative and educational session for me and to the people who are listening and viewing. So thank you again so much, Miss John. And thank you to our viewers who have watched and listened. And until we come your way again, my name is Star George. Have a great evening and goodbye.